I'm just setting up Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias all at once. Let's see if Instagram, if you won't fall over if I put you there. Woo! Yeah, that's good. People are laughing at me. Great. Perfect. Hi. Hi, Facebook. Hey, Insta. I'm going to actually Instagram. You're going to go over here. I'm going to be horizontal. All right. Welcome. This is live Q&A, Money, Sex, and God. This is your chance to talk to me, ask me anything related to money, sex, and God. I've only got 15, 20 minutes. We do this every week at 3 o'clock Eastern. So anything coming up, this is a great chance to get live coaching. This is a great chance to ask questions that you feel are not okay to ask. This is a great chance to learn more about me if you want me to open up about my story or who I am. It's a great chance to connect to other people. A lot of people meet each other on these live Q&As, which I've noticed has been really cool. So you can totally do that. I see people coming on in. So yeah, those of you on Instagram, I'm just going to repeat because Instagram doesn't have a little thing. You can ask me whatever you want. This is a live Q&A. This is a chance for you to come on and get your questions answered. I love answering topics around finances, around sexuality and intimacy, around spirituality, surrender, oneness, non-duality, like all that stuff. Knowing that I doesn't exist, I'm really more channeling here. So let's see. Are you single? That was my question on Instagram. Thanks. Yeah, I guess so. I don't really play by like regular relationship paradigms. So sure. In terms of like what you are probably thinking single means, yes. I love people dearly. I'm not currently in a committed partnership. So I do feel like that's coming for me soon. It's coming. I'm not finding it. It'll just appear, poof, out of thin air, which is how my life does. So I hope I answered your question, Steve, on Insta. Anyone else have questions? Money, sex, God. We do this every Friday. I'm probably going to disappear if people don't have questions because I like to be fed. So anything around finances, around sexuality, intimacy, around spirituality, surrender, God, this is your chance to ask it. Great. Steve said he's going to, I have to read it horizontally, that you're going to catch a plane from South Africa to take you on a date. Oh, are you? What about my answer of yes or no, right? You didn't ask me. I don't know how I feel about that. Especially taking a plane all the way from South Africa, you should at least ask the woman if she wants to go on a date with you first. Hi, Evan. Good to see you on Facebook. All of you on Instagram. This is a Money, Sex, and God live Q&A. You can ask me whatever you want. Nahal, do you have any questions? Evan, any questions? It could be about you, your life, something that's coming up, something that is inhibiting or blocking you from living fully abundant in your sexuality, from living fully abundant in your spirituality, from fully letting go into love. Sun Worship is asking me what topics I'm going to be talking about today. So I like to answer questions on this one. I like to receive, right? And I like to really be in my feminine and just let myself kind of fall back and receive whatever you guys want to talk about. So the topic is going to be whatever happens. Okay, so Evan has a question for me. Hi. Thank you, Evan. This is on Facebook if you guys want to go over and watch Facebook, those of you on Insta. Okay, he said, I have a question. I have to think for a second. Awesome. Good job tapping into you. You got a big client payment yesterday. Amazing. Beautiful abundance manifestation. Curious what your question is, but celebrating you. And I'm so happy, but I feel guilty for feeling depressed or broke. Then so light and airy, having gotten money in. Do you have any advice about this? Okay. Awesome. Let me feel into what let me feel into what I want to do. Okay, I want to give you a little exercise. I learned this from my new mentor, Satyan Raja. And this is a beautiful process of playing with dualities. So what I want you to do, Evan, and anyone else who's watching who's struggling with like two experiences at once happening in their body and feeling guilt or confusion about having both at once. Okay, so okay, she just clarified more. Thanks, Evan. You said basically, I want my happiness to not be so tied to money, or is this fine? Okay, I'll answer that first, and then I'll give you the process. So, money is energy, right? Oh my God, hi Orpheus. Money is energy. It is you receiving a large payment yesterday means that you are ready to receive loving energy from another human being, which is stunning and amazing and perfect. Us feeling guilty about it or anything that comes up on the other end about it, like not wanting to be happy about it, that's just our stuff, right? That's just some parts of ourselves that doesn't fully want to receive it and is not allowing the integration of it. Sounds like another up leveling for you. It sounds like you're moving into a greater abundance and awareness of your abundance, and there's a part of you that's fighting it. So I would be in pleasure around it as best you can. And let yourself feel whatever you're like. Don't turn off the feelings of guilt or the feelings of this isn't okay, right? Like let yourself feel like I feel guilty right now. I feel like I'm not supposed to like this right now, and feel it fully, and then tie it to some pleasure. Dance, do some genital touch, some deep breath, some orgasmic breathing, so that the energy that is coming at you, you can actually let it fully penetrate your being, let it really receive into your body. A lot of times we receive gifts, which a payment from a client is a gift. And every time I get a client, that's my reaction is like, wow, this gift, right? And it has nothing to do with me. It's just like an energy gift. Like, here's the energy gift of your presence, my presence, and your presence, and what I feel like I want to gift you from your presence and what we create in that container. But feel into it, like let yourself fully receive it. Okay, and we do that by deconditioning your nervous system, which we can do through touch, through sexuality is the fastest way, right? Sensual touch. And then I wanted to give you that process, Evan. So I want to give you this is from my teacher, my mentor, Satyan Raja. The process is I want you to fully feel. So you're going to do this repetitive, but I'm just going to give you the one snippet that you're going to repeat over and over again. I want you to fully feel the feeling of receiving the money. Like fully feel it, feel the richness, feel the abundance, feel all of it. Let your body really be there, right? And then I want you to fully feel the experience of guilt for having the money. Fully feel the guilt, fully feel that it's not okay, feel the, like, whatever feelings come up, okay? And then I want you to go back and forth with that 3 times. Okay, so this is kind of a numbers game. So you're gonna do that 3 times. And then you're going to, then you're going to feel both at once, which sounds a little crazy and it's a little confusing and jarring to the mind, but I want you to do it. I want you to feel the feeling of like full abundance and the feeling of guilt all at once. Okay, so then you're going to do that. And then you're going to do the fully feeling one and then the other back and forth 3 times, and then both at once, and do that whole process 3 times. Okay, at least. You may need to keep going. I want you to keep going until you get to a place that they're kind of like merging together, that the opposites aren't really as opposite anymore, and everything's kind of starting to feel like one. And once you get to that oneness, I want you to simply rest in that and stay there. Okay, and then journal about it. Okay, so just a fun little thing that you can do. That I think would be fun, and let us know how it goes for you. But, this idea that we have 2 emotions at once right? Or that we have opposing emotions in our body. The truth, when we get to truth layer, we recognize that everything's actually the same. So the feeling of guilt and the feeling of abundance in its essence are actually just the same feeling of energy exchange, and neither is worse or better, right? So it's similar to like if you have a pain on your lower back, or pain in your lower back, and you have pleasure in your pussy. There's no difference between the pain and the pussy, right? There's no difference between them. They're just sensation. And that's kind of what we do here, is we can kind of unravel that so that we can just get to the sensation and let it all go. Okay, guys. Any other questions? I've got 7 minutes. Any other questions for me? I see people on Instagram. I have to turn my head because you guys are backwards. Yeah, going into the subconscious mind. Yes, it's just connection. It's a part of nature. Yeah. Thank you, Agora on Instagram. I'm resonating with you. I feel you. Any other questions, guys, on money, sex, God, me, you, whoever that is? Anything coming up that's stopping you from living fully in your abundance? Yeah, Evan, of course, and report back. Let us know. Anything else that's stopping you from living fully embodied in the truth of your being? Okay. Let me know. Ask questions. Talk to us about it. Let the group know. Let the people that are on know, so that they can be here for you, with you. I'm going to wait a few more seconds. And if I don't get a question, I'm going to disappear. So I like to receive. So I'm going to wait. Let me know. I think this is a question on Instagram. If everything is belonging to nature, then how is anything wrong? Mm-hmm. Good job. Good job. That's not even real either. I can't, words don't work. Words don't work anymore. Nothing is actually right or wrong. That's a conception of the mind that we've created because we like to play in that duality. We can release that through sexual oneness, unity with our own sexual energy, with our beingness. With our partners, we can also release that. We can go through that practice. But yeah, there's actually nothing wrong. It's all a dance. There may be missteps, right? But then the universe will just kind of move around it and make it work. A pretty clear example of this for me is when I recognized that because nothing is right or wrong, the people that hurt me in my past, for me, I have a history of a lot of rape and sexual trauma. And those experiences were actually not wrong. The rapist is not wrong. And I get shit for this. So if this is bringing up stuff in you, cool. Like I used to feel really angry around this too. And feel the anger, like let yourself be in that. That's all wonderful. Feel the sadness, the grief of that. And it's just a dance, right? Those people that just so happened to interact with me in a way that was quote unquote violating didn't actually take anything from me, right? There was actually no wrongness there. If anything, it was perfectly right, because it has shaped this iteration of Genevieve really beautifully, and the lessons and the growth that I've got to learn. So it's all perfect. Nothing's actually wrong. Yeah. Evan, do you have another question, love? You can totally ask it. And I have to leave in 4 minutes, so go fast. No, there may be no more questions. Okay. I'll wait a minute or two, see if there's any other questions, and then if not, I'll pop off, and I will be back here next week at 3 o'clock Eastern. Same thing. So you can come up with questions. If you catch this on the replay and you think of questions, you can totally message me and let me know. And I'll answer your question live next week. I've got like a running list of them. So happy to do that. I hope everyone's in pleasure today. I sure am. And for the reason of not, being in pleasure allows us to be alive. Evan would love to hear about me and what I do. It's always a funny question. Sure, totally, I hear you. I'll play. So about me. This iteration of Genevieve, this character Genevieve that I'm playing on this in this lifetime, is here to disrupt the sexual conditioning that's been imprinted on the planet. It's really clear. So much so that the mission pulls me ever since I was young. I've always been able to pick up on energy in people's bodies. I've always been fascinated by relating, fascinated by play and spontaneity, fascinated by that charge and that polarity. And then I started playing in it around as soon as I became an adult. Very quickly moved in, well, even as a teenager, but my exploration, but very quickly moved into working as a professional dominatrix and learning the ins and outs of BDSM and sacred kink and conscious sexuality and how to hold space for the submissive in front of me to fully surrender, how to reclaim my voice in that practice, how to reclaim the safety that I get to inhabit in my body now is a really transformational time for me. Shifting from that, I moved into trauma healing and was doing sexual trauma healing for women, my own private practice, and also I had also built up a 6-figure wellness business before I was 26 years old. There's something about trauma that really helps people like become hyper focused, like a traumatic mind, traumatic brain. CPTSD is what I had, which is basically trauma over and over again as a kid. What that does is it made me hyper focused on like completing my tasks and my goals. So I was very business oriented from a very young age. Completed that, had the 6-figure business. In that, was married to a woman and then divorced, and then went through this whole process of learning to love men, learning to be turned on by them and not be afraid, and like working through that trauma. And then had a child, had a boy, which was another like cathartic experience of learning to love the masculine, right? So the last like 10 years has been a lot around that. And then taking all of that and merging it into what I currently do now, which is to help spiritual beings fully embody the skin they're in through their sexual energy, right? To like play full out in their rawness, in the edges of their shadows, in their cosmic dance with turn on, right? And in doing that, what that looks like practically is working with couples or singles, and giving them, playing with them, giving them tools, giving them tricks, giving them the things that I've picked up in this lifetime, and I would even argue the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that, so that they can live fully expressed, right? Because nowadays, my life, it's amazing to me that, my life 10, 15 years ago and my life now, right? And to just see how closed off I was and conditioned and shut down, really. I had this strong sexual energy that I was terrified of. I didn't know how to, and I think everyone has that. Actually, I know everyone has that. And most of us repress it. Bizarrely, the patriarchy represses sexual energy because it's so powerful. It'll blow everything up if all of us awaken to it, which is awesome. And so my mission is to kind of blow all that up. And every client has their own journey, right? I'm currently booked up completely with clients until July, I think is the next one I can take, but I'm interviewing people now for those positions. So if you're watching this and you're interested, message me and we'll talk about that. And then but it is an absolute pleasure to get to live this lifetime in just complete bliss. I feel like I never really work because I'm always doing what I love. And I want that for everyone. I didn't even know what my mission was until I fully embodied my sexuality. I was playing up in the etheric realms and trying to manifest, and I couldn't drop in. I couldn't be here now in my skin, in my orgasm, in my pleasure with the person across from me. And the work of being a spiritual being and then also navigating the human emotion and the human body is the work, right? It's why we're here. If that wasn't the work, then we don't even need to be here. So, and once that happens, once we fully embody that, manifestation becomes really easy, right? Creation becomes so simple. Letting go of any pushing, because things just manifest like that, right? And that's what I teach now. And what I live in is that anything that you desire, you already have. And the way to notice it and remember it is through the most powerful force in your body, which is your sexuality. And not just one force of your sexuality, but all of the different places, the dark places, the shadow places, the romantic places that wants the prince, the like very porn star place, like where the whole thing. Because the more that you can own the fullness of that, the more you get to live in your humanity, and then boom, everything opens up, right? Everything. And it's been my experience and the experience of all of my clients. It's amazing how it happens like that. And speaking of which, I have another client in 6 minutes, so I'm going to jump off. If you want to talk further, I will be on Q&A next week, 3 o'clock. So come up with questions. You can message me. You can, message me is the best way to do it. You can comment on this as well with questions. If you want it to be anonymous, just let me know if you message me. I'll keep it anonymous for you. And like I said, I'm pretty booked with clients, but I'm doing interviews over the next couple weeks to get people in for like August, September, October. So if you want in for that, if you're curious about it, please go ahead and message me, and I'll get you the link, and we can get moving on that, because it's people have been sitting in repression around this for too long. And one day later is too late, right? To be not fully alive. It's amazing how many of us are sleeping to this. And we don't need to be anymore. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you for the questions. And I'll see you everyone here at 3 o'clock next week for the Q&A. Mwah. Big, big, big love. All right, I'm going to end this one and then Insta.